I once lashed out at a woman for talking during my set. Turns out she was the aunt of a very famous late night host. The next day, she emailed every manager and agent telling them never to work with me again.
What? Wow. Again, this story's L.A. rich.
Yeah, this is not. First of all,
This is probably.
I was
New York.
never getting late night
Lashing
either
out
way.
is a New York thing.
What?
Lashing out is a New York thing.
That's true.
I'll take it for sure. That's true. But Lewis does. I've seen Lewis lash out. I don't lash out much, but I have lashed out. I
The
guess.
late night host.
But I've never
here.
lashed out on a woman. I don't think. I've always made them feel small and insignificant with my words, and then I have to lash out at a guy who gets mad about it. So this is not me.
It's not
This
me.
is not me. Well, why
don't
would you
lash
just
out.
yell that out for no reason at all? Everyone knows you're a crazy hothead on stage, Steve.
Why does the aunt have every fucking email of manager's phone numbers? Like what?
Yeah, really.
The aunt of a late night. You think Letterman's aunt has like? I'm calling
David,
all
give me the number for all the people at the studios.
Yeah.
David.
Why do they have that? This seems impossible.
David, Tony Hinchcliffe said some deplorable things about your auntie.
I think the giveaway here is the very famous late night host. It's got to be New York, and if it's lashed out, I'm guessing. And it also says, turns out she was the aunt. So it's
Yeah.
like someone that didn't
Well,
know that someone was in the crowd, which would be the type of show that Lewis is probably on. So
Also, Ari's old enough to have been trying to get Carson. This could have been Carson's
Still not
auntie.
getting an answer.
Mitzi's dream, dude, for Ari to get Carson. She wanted it, dude, so badly for you.
Carson, please.
One day he's gonna
Ari,
get
I know he's going to
Carson.
call you over to the couch.
He's gonna get Carson one day.
I don't. Who here lashes out at the audience? Only you,
Only
Lewis.
Tony.
Pretty
Only Tony
much
really
Tony.
lashes out.
Everyone here is lashed at the audience, Jay. It's not just
Yeah, I guess you're right.
If she was
Literally
talking
everyone.
during the show.
yeah. Everyone.
This also seems vindictive.
That's
so
literally.
it's
By the
very
way,
Tony.
anyone who has had a woman talk out during their set has lashed out at them.
Consider-
That's the appropriate reaction.
Consider someone could have wrote, I was going back and forth room, and they lowered it to lashed out.
I think we're focusing too much on the word lashed out.
We are. That's worked in the past.
I think that this is Tony Hinchcliffe. I think he tried
Remember
to
Needless to Say?
I think he tried to throw it onto me because it's him. Tony also would be the type of person to lash out at a woman. Tony also loves to brag about being canceled. This is very Tony
never
Hinchcliffe.
mentioned.
Every New York.
He says very famous late night.
Yeah, every New York thing is. Every late night thing is here in New York.
No, I know, but manager and agent telling them not to work with me again. Listen,
This is what it stinks up to
in my
me.
heart, Lewis is in my top 2 of who this could be. Simply for lashing out. I'm focusing on that, and Lewis is trying to get me to not focus on that word.
Also-
knowing that Lewis lashes.
I will say this side of the table, pretty much when we were lashing out or people, there was no industry whatsoever or their siblings or their relatives at the Comedy Store at all. So I don't think it's
Listen,
possible.
Jimmy Kimmel,
Let me tell you-
Jimmy Kimmel's out there. Who else is out there?
Leno,
Fallon.
Leno.
Leno's
There's a bunch
done
of
this
them.
on forever. Let me tell
Fallon's
you.
here.
They
Fallon's
never
here.
came
You
to
guys
the
have been
Comedy
doing
Store
comedy
in
for a long
2000.
Fallon and Colbert here. I'm saying who's out there?
Let me tell you how the story actually
Just
happened.
Kimmel?
Here's the story that actually happened. It's a true story by the guy who wrote it. But what happened was this guy fucking sucked, and he ran off some lady in the audience, and then he couldn't get booked at that club again. And he was like, I heard you called every manager in town.
I said Lewis,
Yeah,
and you're
he
doing
never-
a Lewis voice. You did a Lewis voice, and you did
Naturally,
it.
I wasn't even trying to be honest.
I've learned
It
this
just
in this
came
game.
out.
By the way,
It just
playing this
came
game,
out.
if you tell the story and do
Yeah.
the parts in someone's voice, you can really lead people
I
for
see
sure.
what you're saying. You're like, all right.
And Lewis has not been this quiet all night.
You quiet son of a
you
bitch.
guilty bastard.
Tough when it's your fucking story.
I
isn't
feel
it?
like
I
I
should
would.
have been this quiet tonight. I lashed out at that aunt.
I feel like I would know this about Lewis.
I wouldn't
but
have
this
ruined
sounds
my.
like
I wouldn't
Lewis.
have ruined my career.
Lewis or Tony? I'm going.
Which late night show did you want, Lewis?
I've never considered once getting late
Yeah.
night. They've never considered me.
No, it's not
This
about
is
getting
not
late
my
night.
True, though.
story.
It wasn't
It was
even
the
not what
aunt
it
of a
says.
late
It was
night
the
person.
possibility
Turns
being
out.
taken away by this.
By the way,
And
this
you
isn't.
know
This, is,
that.
this
That's
isn't.
why it's your
Agents
story.
and managers don't work with me. Never have, never
That's
will.
what I'm
Maybe
thinking.
this is the reason why.
How would Lewis know that every manager and agent was not
I'm
going to work
thinking,
with him?
look, let me say this.
He would
This is
only-
not my story, but I think this woman was at one of my shows one time, and it would explain a lot of things in my
Yes.
career.
Right? Yeah, she probably called
Yeah.
everybody,
Probably
dude.
was
I'm going
there.
Tony Hinchcliffe. Final answer from me.
Final
I won't
answer,
change.
Tony Hinchcliffe.
It's the agent and manager thing tells me it's an LA thing. That's not talk you New York Fairs ever fucking did.
Right?
Yeah.
We're all about the art.
I'm also going Tony Hinchcliffe.
I mean,
An indignant laugh, which makes me think it
It's-
was not him.
there's no doubt about it. This is blatantly Louis J. Gomez.
It could be Louis J. Fucking.
Too late to change
I said
your
final
answer.
answer.
Ever, once you
I
put
said
your
final.
answer in,
I
it's
have
too
not
late.
put my answer in yet.
Oh,
We're
shit,
waiting
sorry.
for last. Sneakily,
Sorry,
sneakily,
Steve.
sneakily.
Sorry, Steve.
Fuck.
Now it could be Steve.
Everybody else picked me.
I picked you.
Yep.
You
But
guys-
it was you or Lewis.
So
I'd
big
be
for
shocked
me.
if it was either one of you.
Final answer.
You
Lock
didn't
it in.
care. I know you didn't care, Ari.
No, but no one's saying this.
I
The
know.
story's not about caring.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that the aunt did reach out to agents and managers and said, "Don't work with this guy."
I know. I'm gonna go with Lewis.
I think I fucked up by guessing Tony. I think it probably was Lewis, but I already gave my final answer with Tony.
You did already. Can't change
and
it.
honestly, this is a misdirect to the audience. I believe it is Tony.
What now, Mike? What's everyone's final answer?
Everyone's final answer.
I have everyone has Tony except for Steve and Tony who have Lewis, and the story belongs to Tony Hinchcliffe.
Yes.
So let me tell you, you people fucking.
He's lashing out, everyone. Shh.
You people changing the things is really fucking me here. You're changing the things in my direction. It was every booker, manager, and agent. The booker part was very fucking important. You're
Agreed.
gonna cut one word.
Agreed. That
Booker
remains
is
straight.
huge.
Booker is huge.
That wouldn't have made any
You
difference.
got to realize the professional fucking writers that send you these things write them that way for a fucking reason.
Oh, you're getting
Anyway.
a lashing.
Yeah, I'm gonna lash out. Oh
This
no, it's
game?
Jimmy Fallon's
Who
nephew.
lashes out more than Tony?
So let me,
Wow, dude.
let me
Tony
tell you
literally
the
is
story.
the biggest lashing out guy on
Right.
the table.
Exactly.
Shape of a boy. This is all over.
Right.
Well-known
So-
lash out comic Tony Hinchcliffe.
Pop in,
Kate Wickens.
pop in, drop in, end of the night comedy store set. Of course, Jimmy Kimmel's based out of LA. And who works with Jimmy Kimmel? Don Barris.
Yeah.
And who's a fan of Don Barris? Jimmy Kimmel's aunt, which it turns out she already had every. And when I say this, and somehow this got cut down to manager and agent, but truly, everybody in the fucking industry, down to people that I was already working with, the next morning were like, I got this crazy email saying I should never work with you again. Like the only job I had paying me at the time, essentially, which
What
was
did
the
you
only
say to
job
her?
that I had. I called her a cunt.
Yeah.
She was top cake.
She was talking
There was
during a
4
set.
people in the room, by
Story
the way.
track.
This
There's
wasn't
only
like,
one
oh,
way to
wow, why
handle
would
somebody
Tony
talking.
freak out? It was 4 people in the room, 2 women up front, and 2 dudes in the back that were enjoying themselves. And like when it's 1:30 a.m. and you're trying new material, you're like, okay, I got them. I'm batting
somebody's on board.
100%. And these 2 are later like, ba 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 ba. And I go, what the fuck? And I tried to ignore them. I tried to be a professional. It's like 2 years, 3 years or whatever into my career. I tried to ignore them for as long as I could. And finally I go, what the fuck could be so important that you 2 are talking about? And she said, we're talking about whoever is on after you.
Oh.
And I took that as that.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're going.
Shots fired.
You're
bitch.
gonna die.
But she didn't mean it like that.
What she actually meant was, we're wondering if Don Barris is up after you.
Oh.
We're fans of Don. We're friends. They're actually friends with family, basically, with Don Barris. And I misread it as, we're talking about whoever's on after you.
Yeah.
And she was really like, oh, we're just here to see Don. It's okay. And I would have been like, oh, we're cool. Sorry, cunt.
But let me ask you a question.
Misunderstanding.
Let me ask you a question. So she went and wrote every email about everybody.
To a degree that you would never believe. To everybody that had never heard of me before,
Their
and
first
the people that
introduction.
had heard of me before. all got emails, and they all came to me because I'm me and I'm a normal human being, believe it or not. And they're like, "Dude, what the fuck did you do last?" I said I had to
Pissed
call.
off one auntie.
Can I guess the race of the woman?
Yeah.
I believe she was a white woman.
That does track.